We live in a world that like refuses to be quiet. We have access to everything, a constant, endless flow of information at all times, and most of it is bad stuff. But Train Dreams is a 90-minute rejection of everything that we're currently living through. It's a movie that reminds you about why we love movies in the first place. Sometimes in modern day, it's easy to feel like, the world is shrinking and sort of losing its soul. But for me, this movie felt like an antidote to that. It was very cathartic. And again, it made me remember why we love movies in the first place and why we still need cinema over like just popcorn filler, listen in the background while you're scrolling on Twitter types of movies. So let's get into it. This is directed by Clint Bentley. It's adapted off of a novella. This stars Joel Edgerton. He plays our main character, Robert Grenier. And he's a laborer in the American West at the turn of the century. It's the most simple story you could possibly imagine. It's literally we're watching snapshots of this man's life, basically. Actually, this movie was like flipping through like a picture book that doesn't belong to you, of just like seeing a family's history through photographs. So much so that Clint Bentley filmed it that way with the 4:3 aspect ratio, I believe it is. It looks like you're looking at a Polaroid. But he lives through the falling of the Redwoods, the arrival of Halley's Comet in 1910. He sees the moon landing. He witnesses literally the birth of America as we know it today, all while staying a simple man.
There's some very yin yang, I guess, philosophy going on in here. Yeah, when he's talking to the lady at the end, who's the ranger or whatever, the forest ranger, and she's like, the world needs the guy on the soapbox just as much as they need a hermit in the woods. I think that's really what, if I were to break this movie down into something, it would be that. It's like, to everything there is something else, and there's purpose to everything. And this movie was great. It was slow at the beginning, but once I got to about the 45-minute hour mark, I was hooked in, and so I was like, yeah, this is what this is going to be. This is fascinating. The story was great. Didn't need a whole lot to be a good story. This was just overall, I love this movie.
Yeah, I love this movie from start to finish, really.
Big.
For me, it just encapsulated like how it felt during that period of history. And it wasn't even that long ago, which is crazy to think about too. Honestly, it was an amazing experience, and it did feel like a thriller during that tragic event that happens. And like just honestly put me on a kind of an emotional roller coaster throughout this movie.
Yeah. I'm emotional now thinking about it, actually.
Yeah. It really does make me glad for modern times and like being able to like work from home and this sort of thing. Like, I can't imagine having to leave my family for months on end just to provide for the family. Like,
get a splinter and you die at the age of 30.
Yeah. Even the monotony of some of the stuff he was doing, like it was so well displayed on screen. Like the cinematography was amazing.
That's the point of the movie, is like,
For sure.
How even like the most monotonous thing matters, right?
It matters,
Again,
yeah.
similar to Life of Chuck, which shows like how every life matters and every life has some sort of magnitude to it. This is very similar to that. This guy has experienced more than what most people would in a lifetime in a couple of years of his life. Think about all the shit that he witnessed. He witnessed literally the birth of America, essentially, the expansion with railroads, and how that was such a monumental moment in history because it shrunk the world. Think about how big the world is and how much smaller it became when you could now travel across the continent. You could take a railroad from one place to another and get to a place at like a pretty reasonable amount of time, not like hopping on a horse and carriage and hoping like generations of your family don't die off in the time that it takes you to get there. The falling of the Redwoods, which was so beautifully portrayed in this movie through the character played by William H. Macy, Arn Peoples, who was an older man.
Oh yeah, it's a great character.
Oh my God. When Robert, the main character, meets him, like, he's an older man and he's witnessed a lot of stuff himself. And he's talking about how, like, when you cut down a redwood, like he talks about how, like, oh, these trees are 500 years old. He's like,
Yeah.
he's like,
It
he's like,
hurts you subconsciously, even if you don't think of this.
doing what we do hurts the body and the soul. Like it takes a toll
Yeah.
on you. You're cutting down things that are 500 years old, and people are
Right.
like, nah, they're not that old. He's like, yeah, the earth is real old. And oh my God, it's just.
And the other guy, the younger guy's like naivety or whatever, like
Mhm.
about, he's like, oh man, they'll grow back by the time, by the time I'm older. And the old guy's like, was Arn, you said his name
Arn,
was?
yep.
He's like, that's what I thought when I was young too, but look at us now, it's almost all gone or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah. The movie represents like a connectivity in everything. And it ends on that. There's a thread, right, that like connects everything. And that like even this guy who's just a guy that nobody would remember ever in history had an impact on the world around him. No matter how small, like you have an impact.
Yeah.
When you're here and like what you do. And you'll never really know the true depth of like what you influence on earth, on people that you meet, and vice versa. Like, and this movie's just a meditation on that, of like the people you meet, the people that come into your lives and go out of your lives, and they leave an impact on you, regardless of whether or not you remember them. I love this movie. It was absolutely beautiful, magnificent. I know we did our favorite movie of the year list already. This isn't my favorite movie of the year, but I think this is probably the best movie of 2025. Like,
yeah, this would probably be my number 2.
Yeah, this is
for sure.
This is art. Like this is what people talk about when they're like, oh, cinema, real cinema. Like that's pretentious as this is what they're talking about. This is like just magnificent cinematography shot in
dialogue out of this world too.
Yeah.
Like
it's shot in natural
saying
light.
Like the dead tree is as important as the living one. Like,
oh my God,
like the connectivity thing, like you said, yeah, shit's crazy. And then to tie it all together at the end where he's like, I felt part of everything in that moment.
For the first time.
In the plane.
One of the things that really I thought blew me away about this movie is the progression of time. Now, Dusty, you said the movie's a little bit slow. I didn't actually feel like a pacing issue. And it's because you're actually seeing literally like this guy's whole life, 80 years or 76 years or whatever, over the course of an hour and 40 minutes or whatever it is. But that was such a monumental time in American history, just history in general. And the way that the movie showcases that was so brilliant to me. And it's so simple. It did nothing. It's just showing things that happened. But like the way it was so simplistically done, like they never made it a point to be like, oh, wow, railroads exist now. That's huge. Oh, now roads exist. That's huge. Oh, look, it's Halley's Comet that we know if you read a book. Just these events that happen were not really the focus of the movie. He was. And I thought that was so brilliant that like you're seeing the moon landing and he's just like, oh, so that's us, right? And she goes, yep,
they're in
that's
space. Yeah, what are they doing? Yeah. They're in space.
When I tell you,
that was awesome.
When I tell you, I broke down when she said, "That's us." Oh God, I can't even deal because that's like the Carl Sagan thing. Like that's here, that's us. And Pale Blue Dot.
I didn't know anything about this movie. I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't read any reviews. I didn't read anything. I just knew that the thing was called Train Dreams. Okay, I didn't even know who directed. I didn't look anything up. So like the first 30, 45 minutes, I'm like, okay, well, what are we doing here? What's going on? What's happening? And when I settled into the idea of, okay, this is what this is, like it was good from the rest on. So I'll probably have to sit down and rewatch it and appreciate it that much more, but not waiting for like that, you get the introduction and then you got the adversity and then you got the conclusion. That's kind of how stories are told, where this is just like, this is it. This is what happened. There's like, there's not a big climax here. There's an understanding at the end that gets you there. But it was just, I guess it was just weird for me to get settled into like, this is what I was watching. And once I did, I loved it from then on and appreciated it more. But it was a little slow for me to figure out that's what was going on.
No, I think there's actually like beauty to that, like not like going into something completely blind. Like even if you watch a trailer or read about something, you'll have some kind of like notion or whatever, however you describe it, of what to expect when you're going into something. So I find that I feel like I can enjoy some of these movies a little bit better even when I know nothing about it, like even like not even reading anything about it, like the synopsis or whatever. So it's like, It's hard for us to do that because we watch trailers and stuff, but there is definitely it's like a really nice thing to be able to do that.
I just read the synopsis on IMDb that it was about a railroad worker, and I watched the trailer and I was like, okay, but everybody was saying how good it was, so I wanted to watch it. I didn't think I was going to like this movie because, as you guys know, I don't like period pieces. I don't necessarily.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah, I don't necessarily really like dramas that often, like heavy drama. And so I was like, well, I'm not going to like this. But when I tell you, like, instantly hooked, first minute of this movie, like, I was emotional throughout the whole movie. And I'm not saying, like, crying, like, the whole time. I did cry a bunch, but, like, just emotional. Like, it made me, I had the feeling of, like, on the verge of welling up, literally from start to finish. The movie just creates this emotion in you. And that, and like, it's just it's a beautiful movie. That's the only way to say it. It's beautiful. Top down, across the board. Cinematography is beautiful and simple, and like, just the music, simple and like quiet and like not in your face. And but really, you know, this movie hinges on his performance. And my God, what a performance it was. You know, we talked about...
Oh, yeah, he killed it, man.
We talked about Leo this year from One Battle. We talked about Jesse Plemons from Begonia. But my God, if this isn't one of the best performances I've seen in the last 20 years, I don't know what is. Like, he gives a performance of a lifetime. Like, it is like inward and expressive. And he covers such a range of emotions, from like pain and heartache and like loneliness and longing to like happiness and wonderment, because he is a guy who is like he's taking in this life and this existence of his, that like with wonderment, but like also without like care about what's going on in the broader world. Like, he was unimpressed by the moon landing. He was just like, oh, that's cool. And that's,
I think
like,
I don't think he was unimpressed, so to speak. It was just like, it's one of those things you just can't even really fathom it or process it, especially if you're not in the know. It's like,
well, I say unimpressed because if you think about it, he saw the moon landing, and then right after that he goes to, and he was like, oh, cool, the moon landing. And then he goes to a little like play thing at a theater and was weeping from it.
Yeah.
So it just shows you his perspective and like,
for sure,
the things that he appreciates. And like, he appreciates the simple things because he's a simple man. Like, not a simple in like brain, but like simple in experience. And like, and that's the whole point of the movie, is that sometimes even the most ordinary and simple lives are extraordinary. And that's the same message of Life of Chuck.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
because you have to be an extraordinary person to like through and like his job, right? Like, to be able to wake up and it's like, oh, this is the day I have to leave my family for 4 months.
Besides that, the fact that we even exist is a miracle, not of the biblical sense or religious sense, but the sheer amount of circumstances that need to perfectly coalesce to create life is astonishing. And so that's like kind of the central point, I thought. But besides his performance, which is just, I can't say enough good things about it, top down, the cast was...
Even Will Patton.
I
didn't think it was overly done at all. I loved the narration. I actually enjoy a good narrator in a movie.
Me too.
And Will Patton killed it.
Oh, Will Patton killed it. Simple, quiet, subdued, beautiful. William H. Macy as Arn was just out of this world. If he doesn't win an award for this, I'll fucking cry. If anybody deserves an award, it's him.
Just literally, like, he was just like literally the epitome of wisdom. Like, when you think of like a wise old guy, is like he just, that was him, like, personified.
Yep. I don't know if you guys sat through the credits, but I was so moved by this movie that I sat through the whole credits. Because of the song by Nick Cave.
Nick Cave, yeah. When that song started, I decided to stay and listen to the whole song. I didn't sit through all the credits because Netflix does like 30 foreign credits at the end. But
the Nick Cave song is beautiful, but then after that, it goes into William H. Macy singing in the tent. And, playing the harmonica. Oh man, beautiful. I'm actually getting choked up just thinking about the movie now. Like, it's just such a beautiful movie. I
didn't full on cry, but I definitely feel like Dan's on a mission to just make us cry as much as possible if we start the year off like this.
Like, this movie is an experience. Like, that's the best way to describe it. It's like poetry, but in like movie form. And every aspect of this movie was perfect. The cinematography, like I said, the music, all of it. The movie's greatest achievement is, like, again, taking that like common thing and making it feel consequential and big and large, because it is. Again, I think this movie proves why we still need cinema. Like we can't capitulate to companies like Netflix and Amazon that want to make easily digestible, barely have to concentrate on movies that you could just play in the background. Like, we need things like this.
I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
Netflix's approach is crazy.
I totally understand how this couldn't be for everybody, but I would really challenge somebody out there with that opinion that they wouldn't like this or they didn't like it to watch it again, or watch it and really sit with it and watch it, experience it. Your phone, your other computer, watch it with your family, watch it with your friends or loved ones or people that you care about, because it's a really great movie to do that with. This has a 7.6 on IMDb. That is criminally low. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. No question.
Easy. Yeah. So easy.
Easiest 10 of my life.
Yeah. I'd give it a 9.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's a
Doesn't
great
happen
story.
often, folks.
I was waiting to find out what the adversary was going to be. And then when I realized, like, this is just his life.
Adversary is just
and
life.
We're living it. Yeah. And that's when I like, so, you know, that would have been my only gripe. It was a little slow at the start, but once I realized what it was, I didn't have that gripe. And so, like, finding complaints about a movie like this is just a guy living his life. Like, you could make a movie about me 100 years from now, and it would basically be very similar if you made it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have any kids. When my DNA is not passed on, when I die, my life ends here. Like, and that's the story I lived is going to be largely monotonous, but there's going to be a few things in there that are going to make you cry and make you laugh. And that's what this movie is. And so it's just a great story. I love it.
Run, don't walk, as the influencers say, to watch Train Dreams if you have not seen it already. If you have, leave a comment down below. We would love to hear your thoughts on it. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like on it. We appreciate it. If the last time we were here, what did we talk about last time? Oh, Begonia. We watched Begonia, and it was amazing. So if you like this video and you want to hear our thoughts on Begonia, you can go check out that video. There will be a link coming up in the next screen.